My name's Jean Hill, and I'm the Director of the Office of Homelessness and Criminal Justice Reform for Salt Lake County. And I came to this work after serving as co-chair of the Salt Lake Valley Coalition on Homelessness and as a lobbyist for a nonprofit. And my job is to really figure out how do we get people who are cycling between homelessness, criminal justice, and behavioral health out of those cycles so that they can have long-term success as community members in Salt Lake County. Homelessness is essentially a housing problem, right? So people fall into homelessness for a number of reasons. It might be a medical emergency that happened and they had huge bills, might be loss of a job, might be a divorce, might be a domestic violence situation, all kinds of reasons for people falling into homelessness, but ultimately it's a housing problem. So the solutions for finding housing for folks can be complicated where our housing market is so tight and so very expensive. The best solutions we're finding, we have a lot of innovative things happening like converting motels into housing options, and we need to continue to invest in that deeply affordable and permanent supportive housing stock in order to make sure there are enough units available for people who cannot afford our current market rates of, $1,200 for a studio apartment. And I agree completely. Homelessness is not about addiction and mental illness. There is a percentage of the population that definitely has those issues. And again, you cannot expect somebody whose every day is spent trying to figure out where am I going to sleep, where am I going to get food, where am I going to find a bathroom, to also look at the watch they don't have or the phone they don't have and say, oh, I have a mental health appointment today. So we have to get people housed because that's when people can also address those other issues. We are seeing an increase in mental illness in our homeless population. Our latest PIT count showed an increase. Part of that is because we also asked more detailed questions and really got a sense of what those mental illnesses might be, which is great information for us to have so we can better serve individuals. But absolutely, homelessness is a symptom. We need to help people get housed and get the services they need so that we can address those underlying issues and get people healthy. But you cannot do that if a person has no other options but to be in a shelter or to be on the street. So we absolutely have to address those concerns, and that is how we also address the concerns of homeowners and business owners who are seeing people lying in their doorways because they have nowhere else to go. We can't just move those people somewhere else. We really do need to get them into permanent housing where they can address those underlying symptoms that are keeping them unhoused as well, because it is just a cycle. So we're trying to get people out of those cycles of homelessness, criminal justice involvement, and behavioral health issues by finding the right housing solution with the services that individual needs. Our leadership in the county, thankfully, has spent the time necessary to really understand these complex issues and are very committed to addressing all three of these systems that connect to homelessness. So our homeless services system, our criminal justice system, our behavioral health system, but ultimately leadership understands homelessness is a housing issue. You cannot address those higher, longer term needs like needing mental health treatment and needing long-term substance use disorder treatment if you don't know where you're sleeping from night to night, or you don't know where you're going to keep your medications for those treatments night to night. So we get people housed, then they can start focusing on higher needs. But until you have the basics like housing, food, just a safe place to be and a place to feel secure, you cannot concentrate on, oh, I have appointments every week, oh, I have medication I have to take every day, oh, I have nowhere to put my medication because I'm in a tent on a street. So housing is the issue, and leadership, thankfully, does understand that this is a housing problem first and foremost. We need housing, and we need mental health treatment and substance use disorder treatment in order for people to be successful long term. So we actually do really well with situational homelessness. If you look at our numbers of folks who come into the homeless resource centers, those who are situational actually move out very quickly. We have a large percentage of the population that is out of homelessness within a month. The chronic homelessness is much more difficult because, again, there is not the housing available to put someone who has deeper needs, whether it's mental illness, substance use disorders, disabilities. We need a much larger stock of housing for folks who are facing those challenges. And that is one of the reasons why people stay chronically homeless. We just can't move them out of a homeless resource center because there's nowhere for them to go. So the county is really focused on developing, in whatever way we can, that kind of housing for our chronically homeless population. So situational, we're really good. We can get people moved out quickly. Chronic homelessness, if we can get someone into permanent supportive housing, we actually have a great success rate there as well. 93% of our folks who get into permanent supportive housing stay housed. So if we can build those units, we can address that chronically homeless population much better as well.